Hello, all of you bold, brilliant, and beautiful, highly evolved souls. Today, I am going to talk to you about why your gift as a highly sensitive person is going to help you in your healing journey. I think being highly sensitive is really being highly evolved. This is my theory. And yeah, I think we are the healers of the world. We are the change makers, the trailblazers, the people who are going to um, make a difference in this world, not change this, crazy planet that we kind of live on, right? So here are some of the things that will help you in your healing that you have like innately in you. Number one, you are likely very highly aware of your thoughts and feelings. And this is one of those ones that can have both sides to it. But because you're so attuned and so aware of what's going, and it'll take practice, it may not come right away, but with practice, you'll become more and more aware of your thoughts, your emotions, what you're feeling in your body. And through this, by understanding your suffering and your pain, that's how we heal. So it's understanding like, oh, that thought, I'm thinking that thought, and that's not going to be helpful for me, or right now I've got that shaming program going on, or whatever. It's becoming aware of all this stuff that's happening. And also, in your body, you'll notice, where's the tension, or I have, this little sensation, because we might notice this. I know I sometimes notice the smallest of sensations, and this can, as I said, like it can be a bit alarming in the beginning. I remember, kind of being alarmed by when I started noticing my feelings and the sensations. So, I was kind of, I still do sometimes react with fear or with shame to the feeling. So it takes practice to, try to bring just compassion and curiosity to those thoughts, those feelings that you're noticing. And number two, you are likely very deep. You're a deep person, and that means you have a capacity for intimacy with yourself. And that's a lot about what this journey is getting vulnerable and intimate with yourself first, so that you can then, have that capacity in relationships with other people. Yeah, your depth, the way you, just deeply process everything, your feelings, your thoughts, your day, you'll be reflecting on things. And at least that's what I'll just speak for myself, but, like deep reflection, contemplation, we as highly sensitive people and empaths, we generally deeply look at what we're doing, what we're feeling, how we're affecting others, how they're affecting us, and all the intricacies, all the subtleties. And this will help you to also in your healing journey. Number three, you have advanced emotional skills. You are highly emotionally intelligent. You're able to, or you will be able to, with practice, be able to express your feelings, be vulnerable. Being vulnerable is so key to, also, if you're speaking vulnerably, that's kind of a verbal ventilation that allows you to release the trauma, release the pain. And that's how, we get free, is just releasing it and releasing it. So yeah, you have, a capacity to identify probably different emotions, like, oh, this is anger, oh, this is irritation, oh, this is disappointment, and again, all of this takes practice, but you have the capacity to do that. What else here? You are obviously very empathetic and compassionate, and often we've turned it outwards to other people. And or even, sometimes we've confused it with, pitying our parents, like, oh, I realize this, you know, pitying someone who is abusing their child and like going, oh, well, he's feeling a lot of shame right now. You know, but instead of like, I guess my point is to feel like real compassion and empathy for yourself rather than always like, because that's how we get into codependency too, is you know, part of what we learned in our, you know, in our fawning trauma response was to always be looking at the other person and are they okay and how are they feeling and what can I do so that they're not upset, or you know, yeah, always you know, focused outwards. So when we focus that inwards and we can give ourselves that empathy and compassion, tenderness, and this is all stuff that just we need to do it again and again, and it gets easier. You know, when we're in a flashback, it can be very hard to like turn on compassion when we're like we're hearing like, you know, this shaming tape and or fear tape going on our head. So you know, sometimes I just ask God to just bring compassion to everything, like just, you know, because otherwise it's a shame upon whatever, you know. What else? Also, yeah, you have probably a natural capacity for inner child healing. I know I didn't study inner child healing. I'd hardly even heard about it. You know, I'd seen book titles saying inner child healing or whatever, but I really started out just doing it very intuitively. Um, yeah, I had picked up a picture from my mother's house. I think it was probably the last time I ever went there. So it was and right after that, I'd left my husband and I started looking at this picture and I started talking to her like, you know, oh, you must be feeling really scared. And it was really a changing point when I started doing that. So you might just have just sort of a natural way of being able to communicate with your inner child. And you might find also you're able to find different ways, you know, methods. Like sometimes I hear my inner child through dreams, or sometimes it's just a vague kind of voice in my head, a quiet voice, or sometimes, you know, it's through songs that I'm hearing, like walking down the street or whatever. So find ways to communicate with your very precious inner child. Um, yeah, I think as a highly sensitive person, I feel like, again, it's part of evolution as we evolve, that we become more connected with our soul and our true self. And so you probably already have that capacity to deepen that connection with your true self. And that's really what we're doing in healing, is getting closer and closer to embodying that soul, true self on here on planet Earth. Um, yeah, and for me, that's come through yeah, getting in touch with my body. You know, it's actually getting in touch with my body that's led me to my soul. Um, Interestingly enough. And yeah, I think the last one here, oh, a couple more. I guess I already mentioned strong intuition, but this is so key, I think, in healing is using your intuition and just trusting and trusting and trusting yourself, because we were brainwashed out of trusting ourselves and our natural intuition and instinct and wisdom. So when we start to tune back into that, like, wow, like you have an amazing intuition, I'm sure. And this will help guide you like on your next step. What's the next step that I do? And that's all you need to do, is just the next step, and just do whatever is feeling right. And I know for me, you know, the more I just keep following those little kind of feelings like, oh, I think I should do this, or not should, but I think I would like to do this, or I think this is the next step. I just kept following that, and that just builds and builds and builds the trust, and strengthens your intuition. And the last one is, you know what you like and you don't like. You'll know, um, most likely, when something is triggering you, or when something feels really good for you, and you'll know, I like that, don't like that, I want that, don't want that. Um, and you know yourself. And again, this was something that was robbed from us from our narcissistic parents. Just our natural ability to know our preferences and our values, and yeah, what works for us, what doesn't. I know watching toddlers, they're very they know. And yeah, so this will help you in your boundary setting. And again, it's one of those things that just takes a while because we've been our minds have been twisted into not trusting these kind of inner nudges and urges. And so it's, again, developing that trust and being able to set those boundaries and know that, and trusting those kind of thoughts that are going on in your head or your feelings, and really trusting those feelings that they're telling you what your boundaries are. So that is where I will wrap things up here today. And I'm really hoping that you're doing well and you're finding some peace and ease. I know it can be just a daily struggle sometimes. So yeah, just keep remembering the moments that you have that peace or you have that joy, and keep hanging in there. So I am wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And I am Davina at Boldness Blooming. Thank you for watching.